There were some efforts last year. The House committee put forward a discussion draft. That was about as far along as the process got. The Senate made some efforts at the beginning of this year to put a bill together. They weren't able to bring that to fruition. So we are pretty much past the window of opportunity to reauthorize NCLB this year. Now, of course, stranger things can and do happen, so never say never, but the chances are very slim that we will see a reauthorization this year. So that leads to two questions. So when will it get reauthorized, and what does that mean going forward until it gets reauthorized? Well, the when is a great question, particularly given we've got, a little election going on this year. So whoever the new president is and what their focus is when they come into office will go a long way toward dictating when NCLB gets reauthorized. It could happen in 2009. My sense is that it may be difficult to get it done in 2009. No matter who wins the election, there's going to be quite a bit of movement within the Department of Education as the new people bring in their folks. So as far as the administration having the new administration having its act together quickly, if education becomes a real focus, then it can be done, although I would say to date that education hasn't been the top tier issue that it was back in 2000 or even in 2004. So 2009, 2010 is also a possibility. What does that mean in terms of when the changes hit the field? Even if the bill passes Congress, signed by the President in 2009, the earliest regulations would be promulgated would be 2010. So you're still looking at probably the 2010-11 school year before regulations actually hit the ground. And that could be a year later if the bill is a year later. So two things are going to happen between now and then. One is that Congress is more than likely going to continue funding the law. Now, they are going to make choices, though, about what they fund. For example, the House subcommittee, which is responsible for funding programs under No Child Left Behind, just marked up the bill, and they did not include any money for Reading First. It's a pretty big change. Now, we'll see what happens as that bill moves through the process. They have full committee this week. Then the Senate will take it up in July. But whether or not we actually see an appropriations bill is a whole other question. The sort of current thinking on the Hill is that individual bills funding any part of the government, whether it's education, whether it's ag, Veterans Affairs, you name it, are pretty unlikely to get through the process this year. What that means is that there will be some sort of continuing resolution that will probably continue to fund programs at this year's level moving into next year. So, for example, for Reading First, that may mean it'll get another year's worth of funding, or it might not. It's a big question that no one really knows the answer to at this point. But the way NCLB works is that states agree to take the money, and as long as the money continues to flow, then if the states agree to take the money, then the current statute, the current regulations stay on the books. So moving forward, NCLB will largely remain the same depending on which parts of it get funded or don't get funded as you move forward. But largely it'll be the same law that we had this year that we had last year.